And against West Ham, you can see it. Even part of the game against Phil, they're beginning to see the signs coming that it doesn't always gel immediately. But after that game, this game tonight, I am so heartened. We have lost a game of football. We have not lost the tie, but we played some exceptional stuff tonight. And you can see so much more that's going to come from this team. And we've got players to come back from injury as well. Right now, I know it's a little while away. I cannot wait for the second leg. I can't wait.
It's still very early days of this new-look Chelsea side, right? In the build-up to the second leg, playing against managers as Southampton on Saturday, 3 o'clock Stamford Bridge. Then you're looking at Spurs away, February 26th, Leeds at home, and then all to play for at home to Dortmund. Plenty of time to get into some momentum, to work out these little combinations on the pitch that we're seeing glimpses of, Pat.
Look, do you know you buy a whole load of players? I mean, a lot of players, more players than you could almost ever done before, and most teams have ever done before. Does it work overnight? You know, however good they are, you have to build it. Football's not that simple. But you see this quality this early. That's why I'm so hopeful. It's not hyperbole. It's not painting a pretty picture, because that's what we want to see. There is so much excitement. Real Chelsea fans will be watching this and thinking, I cannot wait for the next game. We haven't scored the game. We know what the problem is. We're not getting the balls in the back of the net. But we are getting closer and closer and closer. And the attempts and goals just come up there. 19 attempts and goal away from home by a young side against a top and a top European side, and playing exceptionally well. The home team getting nowhere near that. They had roughly the same amount of possession. Our possession was in better positions, absolutely in better position for large parts of the game. I have to say, there were so many positives in that game, so many. And by the way, can I say right now, for all the difficulties in the past, Koulibaly didn't put a foot wrong tonight, did he? Well done, Koulibaly. We always talk about Thiago Silva and all the rest of the players. João Felix at the start of the game, brilliant. But there were a lot really good. In fact, I can't think of one Chelsea player who didn't play well tonight, and who still couldn't win.
Spot on, Pat. Well, look, down but not out, losing 1-0 on the night in Dortmund. And look, it is all to play for at home at the Bridge on Tuesday, March the 7th. Let's head back to the guys in the studio to try to pick the bones of that display.
Thank you, Max. Thank you, Pat. Yeah, Chelsea unfortunately go down 1-0 to Borussia Dortmund in Germany this evening in the first leg of our round 16 in the UEFA Champions League with Quaker and Dan. Quaker is, like Max said, they're down but not out. Second leg, still all to play for. And I think we saw there, it's going to be a game of fine margins when they return to the Bridge as well. Yeah, definitely. This is very, very, very frustrating. And you heard Pat there say it was a positive performance. It was, in terms of the chances created, and on another day we score 3 or 4. But that's been our problem over the last few weeks, is putting the ball in the back of the net, and we can't do it for various reasons. Tonight it was the case of just not taking those opportunities. Other days have been keepers making good saves and just not hitting that rubber to green. But it seems like it's coming. It's just when it will come, because the game was there for the taking. Borussia Dortmund, for as good as they've been since the resumption of club football, they were there for the taking. We could have beaten them. We were the better team on the night. Just things didn't go our way, and we move on to Stamford Bridge in a couple of weeks' time. It was a frantic performance, Dan, and obviously the difference being one end, Kai Havertz and Ben Chilwell, between the two of them, unfortunately can't direct the ball goalwards for an in-swinging corner. Then Karim Adeyemi goes up the other end, rounds a goalkeeper, and it's 1-0. And all of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, Chelsea go from a golden opportunity to being one down. And it is those fine margins that we've seen so often in European football.
It's a cruel sport. It really is, you know, and goals change these games. You know, we were the better team. I think 19 chances created, 7 shots on target. It's probably more than we've created all season, if we're honest. So there are loads of positive signs, but if we can't put the ball in the back of the net, we are always going to struggle. I think we were sucker punch. I feel like we were pressing. I think we were good to leave here with all the marbles, if I'm totally honest. I feel like it was a pretty good performance, but we just can't put the ball in the back of the net. We helped the keeper a few times, but everything was kind of down his throat. You hit a corner or any of these flash shots either side, and you get the rubber to green, and you're a goal to the good. But it just wasn't our night, and I think every Chelsea fan will join me in saying it's close, but it's not close enough. You know, we're not getting the rubber to green. I'm not sure what we have to do to put the ball in the back of the net, but I think that's 4 goals in, you know, however many games, we just can't hit the back of the net at the moment.
It does feel like that, Quaker, as well, doesn't it? It feels like maybe a game, and I really hope it's Saturday, but they'll all, like you said earlier, they'll all come along at once and we'll beat a team 5 or 6. It does feel like maybe that's coming, but also from a sort of a therapeutic perspective, we do need one of those games, don't we? Because the longer it goes on, when you're struggling to score goals, the more it plays on your mind and the more these conversations keep happening. And again, there's going to be a lot of people that aren't Chelsea fans that are going to be having these conversations from a very different perspective. But it is a conversation that keeps rearing its head.
It's clear and it's evident what our issues are in terms of why we can't win these games. It's just scoring goals, and for whatever reason, we just can't find the back of the net. It feels like we're cursed at the moment. Like you said, there's going to be a day or an evening where it all comes together and we score a lot of goals. We've got Southampton on the weekend. We know that they're famous for shipping a lot of goals in single games. So maybe that could be the one. Maybe that's the game where we finally get it all out of our system and we score a hatful of goals. But it's so frustrating watching that, because there's so many moments where it's like there's a half chance, or where if they put it either side the keeper, it goes in, or the clearance off the line from Emre Can. There's so many little moments that aren't going our way. We hit the woodwork in the first half. And I don't know what it is, but when it does finally click, it's going to be amazing, and we're going to rejoice and jubilate, because it will feel incredible. But right now, you can't help but feel frustrated. That's what I feel right now, frustrated.
Yeah, completely agree, mate. And at the other end of the pitch, Dan, I thought Kalidou Koulibaly got the nod tonight, because obviously Benoit Badiashile has been fantastic since he's come in January, but I thought Koulibaly was superb tonight. Yeah,
I thought he was really good. I actually don't really have any bad things to say about our performance as a whole. I feel like we went to Dortmund, a very difficult place to go, and we dominated. You know, I feel like we had the better chances, 80,000 in the crowd, and I feel like we managed to subdue them and play kind of like the home team. So I haven't got a bad word to say. Koulibaly was good, Thiago Silva was good. We just got sucker punched, but we need to stop getting sucker punched.
It does feel like that, doesn't it? It does feel like maybe there is something, you know, we can see patterns of play, players that are starting to link up together. Sometimes it's just not your night, you know, Quaker, and there was an element of that tonight. It perhaps just wasn't our night. You know, we've come so close to the ball being over the line for a good chance. João Felix hits the bar in the first half. You know, there's again, Kai Havertz's header, and then 30 seconds later, Adeyemi opens a scoring. Sometimes, like you just said, Dan, it's a cruel sport, but just not your night.
Sometimes it's not, and I put a curse on him pre-game. Mykhailo Mudryk is going to have amazing games in the Chelsea shirt. He's already had amazing games in the Champions League for Shakhtar Donetsk. Tonight just wasn't his night. His touch wasn't there. And I feel like that's just emblematic of how we played tonight. It just wasn't our night. Even though like the intent was there and we were positive, just couldn't get the ball over the line. Literally, physically couldn't get it over the line. If I was there in Dortmund, I would chuck it over. Honestly, it's so frustrating, man, because like Dan said, there's not really much you can point out and criticise. Like from Kerr to our attacking players, like we played really well. It's just that we couldn't get the goal that could see us over the line. Some decisions went against us as well. Jude Bellingham probably could have seen red. The referee let him off. I think if that's at the bridge, it's a different story. Emre Can also had a questionable challenge. So there are different elements as well that are beyond our control that resulted in the loss against Dortmund. But we take them back to the bridge knowing that there's opportunities to hurt this team, and we saw that tonight, and we're going to see it at the bridge in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, absolutely. Tie still very much in the balance. Dan, looking forward to the weekend. Southampton at Stamford Bridge, a team that are going through a lot at the moment. You know, recently sacked their manager, Nathan Jones, so they're in a bit of turmoil themselves. In terms of consistency, though, for Chelsea, do we see many changes going into that game, or is it a case of now getting into a rhythm?
I feel we do. I think we might see Fofana. I think there's a case to start him up front.
David Fofana, that is.
Yes,
sorry.
David Fofana. Maybe Wesley as well. I wonder how much Graham Potter knows his best team yet. Obviously, what we can select in the Champions League is different to what we can select in the Premier League. But I think we just need a result. I think he will pick... any team we pick is good enough to beat Southampton. You know, we've got such a great squad. It's just about being able to do it, putting the ball in the back of the net when we need to, because it completely changes games as soon as that ball hits the back of the net. So we just need an early goal. And then a second goal.
And then a third, and then a fourth, and then a fifth. I agree with you, though. Call me old school, but I want to see like a focal point up there. I want to see a striker, and I think David Fofana has shown glimpses of that. And again, he's an Ivorian centre forward. We've got an affinity for them at Stamford Bridge, so maybe he could be the answer to our goal scoring issues, because we need an answer. We need to start scoring goals because this is the Champions League right now. The league, we know how much we're struggling. We need somebody who can score goals and hit the ball or hit the back of the net on a regular basis for us to achieve our goals this season.
I think it is luck as well, though, because we had 17 or 19 chances today, and we literally saw the ball just trying to go over. But it's luck, and Lady Luck is not with us at the moment. We have to hope she's with us at the weekend.
Absolutely. Yeah. Just wasn't our nights tonight. Right, let's have a little look at what's coming up on the fifth stand-up for you over the next couple of days, of course, as the boys have mentioned. It's a big one on Saturday at Stamford Bridge. Premier League points up for grabs against Southampton. 1:15, you can join us for that. And before that, Friday afternoon, Graham Potter will be speaking to the press ahead of that Premier League clash at the weekend. OK then, boys, this is the toughest part that we always do. One word to start this evening, Kwaku.
Frustrating.
Dan?
Agonising.
Agonising. Boys, good work as always. Thank you very much for watching, wherever you've been watching this evening. Thank you very much for that. Unfortunately, it wasn't our night, but still very much in the balance. Chelsea's Champions League dream is still on. Never, ever write this football club out. Thank you for watching. Good night.